Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
And the winner is your _pal _blue 69 high.
Nope, get out of here. Get out of here. That was Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You in reverse. Thank you very much, everybody. Happy holidays. Hi, it's me, Charlie. And this is the 25 days of Mariah Carey, where every stream I will open it with another cursed version of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, with such bangers as Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, featuring The Black Parade. Another where she fell down the stairs. What did I do last week? What was the good one that I played last week? I forget. Hold on. Can't show you the playlist. I don't want to spoil anything. So, you might be like, Charlie, you're still bundled up for stream. What's going on? Let me tell you. I turned the fireplace off yesterday. So this is my, my struggle. Oh, Mariah Carey's All I Want For You, but she has to sneeze. I got a few other good ones coming up the rest of the month. I have a playlist of like 27 deep. And we're only through like 10 or 5. We've done 6 so far. Well, no, 5. Anyway, hi everybody. It's freaking cold here in Jersey. It says it's 27 degrees out. I'd agree with that. For my European chatters, for my non-American chatters, that is, freezing temp. It's cold. And again, I forgot to turn the fireplace, or keep it on. Usually what I do is when I finish stream, I turn it down to like 66 degrees. So yesterday morning, after I got my kids on the bus, I wasn't feeling really good. I was feeling dizzy. I was feeling kind of nauseous. I was just feeling the worst. So, and if you guys remember, on Wednesday day's stream, I had a sore throat. So Thursday morning, get my kid on the bus. I come out here and I'm like, maybe if I smoke, that'll help the headache and make me feel better. Well, I think I hit my pipe barely once and I felt like I was gonna throw up even more. So I turned off everything out here, including my fireplace, which I normally put down to 66 degrees. And I went inside and I threw up from 8 o'clock in the morning till about 12:30. Consistently. I'm not talking like one time. I'm talking like every few minutes. I couldn't keep applesauce down. I couldn't keep water down. Couldn't keep anything down. About 12:30, I fell asleep with my head next to the toilet and woke up around 1 o'clock-ish. And then I crawled back in bed and I stayed there till about 5, maybe closer to 6. And I went downstairs and I got an applesauce and I was able to keep that down. And then we got from the food bank, you know, like the slushy water things they give you in the hospital that are in like the little plastic cups, and they're like apple juice or strawberry juice that are usually like frozen that they give to you so it's easy for your body to consume. I have some of those in the freezer. I mean, strawberry ones. So I had one of those and that stayed down. And then I just kept drinking water. Hobby got Domino's for dinner, which turned my stomach at the smell. But he got me ginger ale. He went to Wawa and got me ginger ale. So that helped a bunch. I had a banana around 10:30 at night, and then I'd basically given up. I was ready for bed. So, I was in and out of sleeping most of the night. And I haven't thrown up since. My stomach's been a little not the best. But I feel worlds different from yesterday. Like, I feel functional. So, I had toast that I nursed for about 2 hours. Meaning it took me 2 hours to eat 2 toast. And I had an Earl Grey tea with nothing else in it. Water. I've had so far today. I might have had an applesauce. It's a little blurry. Have a cup of chai with nothing in it. I mostly just wanted flavored hot water. Because plain water sometimes is gross. But, taking it easy. Crackers that I left out here. Get more ginger ale in a moment because I've been a little burpy. But that's been my 24 hours. How are you guys? How you doing? Lou, I know you had like a half day of work. Hobby was right though. You should ask for like, you know, a day's worth of pay if you have sick time and vacation time built up. That green is taken too good. So I have green help delete bed. Holy crap, look at that. And it was less than half a day. We left at 8. Yeah, which is why you should ask for a whole day's pay if you have the sick time or the vacation time. Like, if I showed up to work and they sent me home, I'd ask to use sick time because I would still like a day of pay for the day of pay you promised me. And that's what we do here in Jersey. Oh my god, even that, it's just like, it's almost still too cold. Maybe I'll... Like, you scheduled your day as though you were going to have to work. So, get paid for that day. It's not your fault the company did that. It would be one thing if you had to go home sick early, which even then I'd be like, hey, can I use sick day on this? And like, you already know, well, I thought, might not, that you're not gonna get that vacation time or that sick pay once the business goes out of business. Because all their dues go into a bankruptcy, and like, that's it. Like, you will not see that money. I did not realize the green that well in these spots. I mean, it doesn't look the worst, and it'll probably look better once it's a little dry. Shouldn't have brought the bangs back. Okay. So, not ready to sand yet. Trying to see what news. Well, most Christmas music, not all of it. British high schoolers tried Detroit pizza? That looks like a lasagna. That's just a lasagna. Right here. Not pizza. I want to cover some of this war crime stuff. So there's also the pipe bomb thing, which I'm a little confused about because apparently he did it on January 6th and he would have been arrested for January 6th and they just pardoned all the January 6ers. Oh, almost spilled my tea.
Trump doubled down on his pacifist credentials, celebrating a treaty he negotiated in Africa with the banner "Delivering Peace." But he had an unusual choice of pre-show music.
Is this... I don't want to watch more. I'd rather just watch the Colbert. You know what? I will. Fuck it. I'll watch it again. Oh, you can't. Mike wasn't even picking my singing up. Boo.
Welcome.
How many views does it have? How many views? Where are the views? View count. 1,000,000 views.
Welcome one and all. My friends and neighbors.
I really think Colbert's gonna do pretty awesome after CBS ends. Because yo, they fucked up. They have to realize that, like, eventually the Trump administration will come to an end. And, like, if they're gonna fire someone over not liking Stephen Colbert, they should be ready to commit the same to anyone on their station that does the same in the reverse direction.
Neighbors, welcome to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Folks, there has been a story going around in the news the last couple of days, and frankly, we've been hesitant to touch it, but it feels irresponsible to stay silent any longer. It's cold outside. Yet, only a few months ago, it was not. Where does this end? April? Thanks, Donald Trump. Yeah. Right now, an Arctic blast is sweeping down the...
I've been trying to come up with Donald Trump names for, like, you know how he did, like, Sleepy Joe? Well, people are trying to come up with some names. I think I've got a few, but my favorite one so far is either, like, Don Nod or Nod and Don. The Trump Slump. It's funny because that's what they call the like the negative effect Trump has on politicians, but but it's also him slumping over in his chair for a nap. Oh my god, hold on. I have to... Is there like a nap compilation up yet? Where are my YouTubers who dedicate me Trump nap? Oh my god. I just want to see every time he falls asleep. Has anybody done that yet? Everybody's just been like, Dozy Dawn. Dozy Dawn. Dozy Dawn's good. Okay. I kind of low-key want to go find... This was from like 2 days ago. I think we watched this. This was... Yeah, it was over his text.
The country, especially in the Midwest. In Chicago today, wind chills were expected to reach as low as 20 degrees below zero.
That's cold.
And if it's... listen, I lived in Chicago. Please, everybody in Chicagoland, if it's that cold, please remember to layer. I mean, just look at this tragic picture of a Chicagoan trying to hail a cab today.
Chicago!
Yesterday,
Go Bears.
Trump met auto industry leaders and announced that he's throwing out all the rules Biden put in place to encourage companies to make cars electric.
This is a green new scam, and people were paying too much.
Has anybody checked on Elon? Oh my god. He's gotta be like so upset right now. Like that's all he does is electric cars. What's the Tesla price? Because right now the United States is the largest market of. Oh no! Oh no! So here, 5 day. Why it went up, and then hold on. Today's the 5th. So the 4th at 10 a.m. it went up. I have no idea where his press conference was, but it looks like it went up until 11 a.m. yesterday. Or 11 a.m. today. Worst was in March, and it whoopsie. I really do think Trump hurting the electric cars. I go off Twitter. Like, I don't have Twitter on my phone. I just have it on my computer. Oh my god. Caroline is sorry. The Casey-tron apology. So for those who don't know, Ethan Klein decided to sue a bunch of women. One of them being Casey-tron, the other is Denims and Frogan. Um Casey-tron has decided to settle with Ethan Klein, and Ethan Klein made her give an apology statement that said, like, Hassan's an awful person, and I'm the worst, blah, 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 blah. And everybody just sees it what it is, uh, it's just she was held hostage. And, you know, great. If Ethan gets satisfaction from somebody, like, hurting someone that bad, it's awful. And, on post, I don't free internet. Okay, I've got to stop. I've got to stop. Anyway, I'm interested to see what happens
Much for a
to
car
Elon, because that's all his company does is electric cars. And like I said, the United States is its largest market because its sales for, like, Tesla in Europe have are completely non-existent. And on top of that, China, I don't think, imports Teslas at all. So, like, there's no market in Asia, there's no market in Europe. I don't know how their market is in South America, but I do know most of their market is in the United States.
that didn't work as well. All of the nonsense is being taken out of the cars.
All you need in a car is the basics, folks. You need a gas pedal, you need the steering wheel, and a little hula lady on the dashboard. There you go. Brrr. Dance for me, tiny ukulele bride. Look, don't go trying to peek underneath her skirt. I checked. It's all spring.
There are two genders. What's in your
Trump
pants?
discussed other EPA standards he's throwing down the well.
We're canceling the EPA's absurd tailpipe emission standards.
Well, that makes sense. He'd want to change that. I mean, standing behind a tailpipe is how he applies his makeup.
Oh! Gonna hurt him.
Rev it up!
That's gonna hurt his people. Or Trump hates when people make fun of his appearance. Back to Twitter. Sorry, I wanted to find that Trump. I want to see what he's tweeted. Let's do 24 hours ago. Okay. Biden administration created exemption for many low-level Taliban civil servants. Okay, I don't believe it. Such a terrific victory for Matt Van Epps and his wonderful family. Last night, he will be a fantastic representative for the great state of Tennessee for many years to come. For years, the Biden administration weaponized the justice system against their political opponents. And anyone who disagrees with them, one of the clearest examples was when Crooked Joe used the FBI and DOJ to take out a member of his own party after highly respected Congressman Henry Seller bravely spoke out against open borders and the Biden border catastrophe. Sleepy Joe went after the congressman and even the congressman's wonderful wife simply for speaking the truth. It is un-American, and I previously stated the radical left Democrats are a complete and total threat to democracy. They will attack, lie, rob, cheat, destroy, and decimate anyone who dares to oppose the far left agenda, the agenda that, if left unchecked, will obliterate our magnificent country. Because of these and others, I hereby announcing my full and unconditional pardon to the beloved Texas Congressman Henry Seller and Henry, I don't know you, but you can sleep well tonight. Your nightmare is finally over. The sleazebag governor of Colorado, Jared Polis, refused to allow an elderly woman, Tina Peters, was unfairly convicted of what the Democrats do, cheating on elections, out of jail. She was convicted for trying to stop Democrats from stealing Colorado votes in the election. I remember this lady serving election records, which she was obligated to do under federal law. She has now served more than 1 year in jail and has 8 years to go. On top of everything else, she's a cancer survivor. This lightweight governor who allowed his state to go to hell, Trenday Aragua, should be ashamed of himself. Free Tina. Girl, you've been pardoning everybody. You're not gonna pardon her? You're just gonna talk about it? What the See, most of the people he's pardoned have been men, too. That'll probably be the reason he won't pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Because she's a woman. Great job to the wonderful Trisha McLaughlin, DHS Assistant Secretary on Sean Hannity's show. Many illegals from around our nation charged with serious crimes this week to really know her stuff. Great. Our elections are crooked and rigged. The voters know it. Must briefly interrogate. Oh, wait. Must bring integrity back to voting. Start with voter ID. Canberra in Scotland. #1 rated in the world. Looks like AI. I don't know why. It might not be, but it's giving me that. I don't know if it's like flag. Something looks like Photoshop here, you know? I'm dealing with the poisoning of America. Trump is secretly AI. There's a few videos they've been putting out where he stands behind a specific background, and I'm pretty sure that's AI. When he does shout outs. Netanyahu submitted a request to the president, dog, pardon. Ray for Manhattan, U.S. or against Ray for the. Not reading that. What is he posting? Like all of his memories? Like what's going on here? In the good old days, long before Reverend Al Sharpton had a massive stomach surgery, he would do anything to be with me, but he has to be faithful to the radical left in order to keep his job as a commentator and MP. Also in this group is the great James Brown. I knew them all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Isn't that Eric Holder? No. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. The Democrats' #1 policy push is the complete and total obliteration of our great United States Supreme Court. They will do this on their very first day in office. Bro, how many people do you think are going to be dead by the time you're like... Okay, let's assume it's the 2028 presidential election, right? Let's assume it's Republicans versus Democrats and not Trump on the ballot. Are you assuming that in 3 years the justices are gonna most of the justices are gonna be dead? Simply through the termination of the filibuster. Should they win the upcoming election, the radical left Democrats are looking at 21 justices. What? Who? With immediate ascension? I don't know. So are they adding? Didn't you say 15 before? This would be terrible for our country. Fear not, however, Republicans will not let it or any other catastrophic policies happen. Our country is now in very good hands. MAGA. They've just approved tiny cars to be built in America. Manufacturers have long wanted to do this, just like they are so successfully built in other countries. They can be propelled by gasoline, electric, or hybrid. These cars of the very near future are inexpensive, safe, fuel efficient, and quite simply amazing. Start building them now. Thank you, DOJ and the Department of Transportation and Environment. Wait, why is the DOJ involved in the sale of tiny cars?
It's not clear how getting rid of these standards is going to lower car costs or really help anyone. So this morning, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy went on the TV to defend it.
I want the market to decide what kind of EV I should offer. What kind of vehicles do the American consumers want to buy? This rule will actually allow you to bring back the 1970s station wagon.
That's right. We're going back to the 70s.
Not everybody wants one of those, bro. If they wanted one, they could probably, build one back up from scratch. I personally would love another Fiat.
Everybody. Come on, kids. Hop in the station wagon. No seatbelt, so hold on tight to your beers. Now, everybody roll up the windows. Daddy needs a Don't want you kids missing any of the flavor. Yesterday, Trump
love his
slapped his
miming.
name on another building in D.C. because the State Department announced the newly renamed Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace.
What I love most about it is if you look, it's just
Building in D.C. because
Here.
the State Department announced the newly renamed
it's just above it, so they can like take it off once they're done. Like it's not carved in there like this. They were like, no, we'll do the cheapest. We'll just stick something on.
Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace. Now, he's certainly a piece of something. Now, the State Department... The State Department tweet says they renamed the building to reflect the greatest deal maker in our nation's history. What are you talking about, the greatest deal maker? Are these people forgetting our founding father, General Wayne Brady? He could sing, too. Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to check Elon. Just on Musk's charity account. Did I block him? I just want to know how he's handling this.
Critics were surprised because previously the administration had called the Institute of Peace bloated and useless. So Donald Trump, this afternoon, I got there first? Did I get there first? Got to be careful where I point this. This afternoon, Trump doubled down on his pacifist credentials, celebrating a treaty he negotiated in Africa with the banner delivering peace. But he had an unusual choice of pre-show music.
I really hope Colbert keeps this up because normally, like, I don't remember talk show politicians this much when I was a kid. Like, I feel like politics were almost something that you didn't really talk about until, like, Bush era. Because, I don't know, a lot of presidents. There was, like, I think Reagan, like, tripped one. But, like, I hope he keeps it up because Trump is embarrassing.
Yes, it's the most inappropriate music choice since that famous footage of the Hindenburg.
This girl is on fire!
There you go. Speaking of peace, war. You'll recall that Trump and his Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, are in a bit of hot water because the United States military has been bombing what they say are Venezuelan drug smuggling boats without presenting any evidence, as you do.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today because, like, I know as much as I would like, just know people aren't happy. Oh, Hayes? Hell yeah.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. We have a president who is, of course, the oldest
Known Hasanabi head, Chris Hayes.
man ever to be sworn into office in this country's long history. And it's showing. Today, he went on a disgusting tirade about Somali immigrants, many of whom...
Please, if anybody in the news media can hear this, find all the clips of Trump nodding off so far this year and post it online. That's my recommendation. You want an easy work assignment? There you go.
are Americans, that even by his own degraded standards was egregiously racist.
Somalia is considered by many to be the worst country on earth. I don't know. I haven't been there. I won't be there anytime soon, I hope. But what Somalia, what the Somalian people have done to Minnesota is not even believable. It's not even believable. And a lot of it starts with the governor. A lot of it starts with Barack Hussein Obama, because that's when people started coming in. And you have to have people come in that are going to love our country, cherish our country. They want to kiss our country goodnight.
There's a lot about that appearance that was both strange and things that we've come to sort of see as normal. You may have noticed Trump kept his hand under the table there. In fact, he appeared to be going out of his way to hide his right hand specifically. That's the same hand that just yesterday was covered with makeup and Band-Aids.
Another? Oh my god, it's like it's the beginning of the month. Oh man, guys. Look at those eyes. He doesn't even look awake there. Oof.
Hand that has had large bruises on it in the past. As for the substance of his remarks, Trump has always been a bigot, going back many decades. He's clearly having a harder time keeping rants like that inside. In fact, today's spectacle comes after a similar tirade yesterday. Also, he's repeating himself a lot. That one was during a cabinet meeting, mostly focused on Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and those pretty clearly unlawful boat strikes, although admittedly, Trump seemed to sleep through quite a bit of it. In fact, at one point, and I think this might be an indelible image of this entire presidency when all is said and done, at one point, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was heaping praise on the great man for his singular leadership, as the man next to him, the president, appeared to be nodding off.
This war is going on, and the president is trying to end it, not because, listen, we got a million things to focus on in the world as a country, but he's the only leader in the world that can help end it. And that's why even as we speak to you now, Steve Woodcock is in Moscow trying to find a way to end this war, to save lives of 9,000 people, Mr. President, as you know, are dying every week.
Have you ever seen a more awake man? A more virile man? A man of more implacable energy than this man here, Mr. President?
They should put clips up of like Joe Biden in cabinet meetings versus Trump in cabinet meetings.
Talking about you. The Washington Post counted a total of 6 minutes where Trump's eyes were closed or he otherwise struggled to stay awake. And so in response, the White House brought out its defenders to explain why everything is fine.
I read this article, like President Trump is slowing down, President Trump's mental capacity. It is 100% fake. That, like, he only called me twice at 2 in the morning last week instead of 3 times.
You may sleep less than the president, Brad, and that is a remarkable thing because I don't think he sleeps at all.
Fox News even brought out their senior medical analyst to talk about how great naps are.
Social media goes crazy, and the left is going crazy after totally deep sixing any concern about Biden.
Wait, I need to know, like, every sure this is out there. I need to know. I'm not going to trust AI. This is from 2007. I don't want to trust the AI. Hacks. Oh, 3 days ago. Oh, I need to know the times, though. Like, what's the average time of day that Trump tweets? Like, there's just an archive of this. Last year. Hold on. I gotta get the calculator out. What the hell? Calculator. Calculator. Hi, Hobby. Watch me do some math. All right. So it's been a year. So 6,150 online posts divided by 365. That's 18.2 posts a day. What is the average time? Like, I should search, like, what time of day does Trump post? I have butterscotch pudding. That sounds. What he's talking about is Beet Fest. I have cherry yogurt. How does nobody know this or post about this? Like, he posts some nights at like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, dude, go to. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Everybody's talking about the 12-hour tweet.
Years. And they went crazy because at one point today, when Rubio was talking, President Trump had his eyes closed for, a few seconds. It seemed like a few seconds. But they went crazy. Like, he's sleeping.
Oh my God. They went after Joe Biden so hard. I saw Sleepy Joe ASMR in there. Top 5 Sleepy Joe moments. That's 5 out of 4
America
years.
is a nation that
5 out of 4 years. I want to see if he's nodding off in any of these.
can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
You think he's dancing in his mind?
actions to stop the destruction of this magnificent island.
Okay.
This conference is one of the most important meetings in history. You have the chance to make decisions and reach agreements which will affect the lives of generations to come.
One clip out of 4 years. How many times has Trump fell asleep? Like 6?
During meetings, like. Your reaction tonight?
I think he seems extremely sharp, and I think this whole thing is a bait and switch. This is a disgrace because we don't need to see President Trump passing cognitive tests. As you just said, he passes one every single day, every single moment, going in and out of press conferences. I've never seen anything like it, actually. Thomas Edison believed in the 10-minute nap, by the way. What would they say? We wouldn't have electricity, right?
Now, I'll level with you here. I, too, am a great believer in naps. I do try to avoid them while I'm on air with you. It goes without saying that the 79-year-old president is no Thomas Edison. Maybe it's just the normal process of aging. I mean, he is, 79. Maybe it's something more. I don't know. We know the president.
I believe Trump is just constantly asleep and there's someone puppeting him, like a Weekend at Bernie's.
Had an MRI a few weeks ago, which he weirdly kind of tangentially introduced and mentioned. It was part of what the White House initially said was his annual physical. In fact, it was his second annual physical of the year. Usually the annual physical happens once a year.
Dude, he looked rough there. Look at that. Look at those jowls. Oh my God. Look at his nussy. That man needs a wheelchair and some pudding.
In fact, it was his second annual physical of the year. Usually the annual physical happens once a year, at least that we know about. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't think an MRI is generally part of a normal checkup. And then when asked about it, Trump has been super dodgy.
Did you get an MRI? Can you tell us what that was?
I did. I got an MRI. It was perfect. Yeah. I mean, I gave you the full results. We had an MRI, and in the machine.
Watching Rubio's eyes while this is happening is very interesting. Like his face. Hold up. God, I just got a craving for an Italian sub. There's Domino's left inside. I might eat that up. Hobby, if you're in the chat or listening, let me know what flavors of pizza, what pizza you got last night. I'm having cheeseburger and chili. Didn't you just have a pudding?
I did. I got an MRI. It was perfect. Yeah. I mean, I gave you the full results. We had an MRI, and
nice.
In the machine, the whole thing. Yeah. And it
Wait,
was,
I got distracted reading chat. I didn't look at Rubio's eyes again.
Did you get an MRI? Can you tell us what that was?
I did. I got an MRI.
He's
it was
looking
perfect.
at Trump.
Yeah.
Looking at Trump.
I mean, I gave you the full
Forward
results.
camera.
We had an MRI.
Looks down like he's thinking about something real fast. Looks at Trump.
In the machine, the whole thing. Yeah.
I'm a growing young man.
Why did President Trump get an MRI during?
For me, I usually go savory to sweet, not sweet savory. Does that make sense?
Look, as President Trump said, he would inquire with the physicians. I'll check back on that. But as the physical itself...
Why does she look like she belongs in the... she looks like she's from Whoville. Look at this shit. Picture. Show me a who. Look at this. She looks like look at that. Tell me that doesn't look like Caroline Leavitt's father. The lips. Please, tell me I'm wrong.
Self-stated, Kristen, and as you all know, because you are all witness to it, every single day the president is in optimal physical health.
I had an MRI as part of my standard yearly, or I think they do it every 2 years, but I have the physical every year. And the result was outstanding. Did you know? I have no idea what they analyzed, but whatever they analyzed it well, and they said that I had as good a result as they've ever seen. If you want to have it released, I'll release it.
Yes, please. Can you tell us what they were looking at?
For what, releasing?
No. What part of your body was the MRI looking at?
I have no idea. It was just an MRI. What part of the body? It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing. Goodbye, everybody. You too.
This level of detailed assessment is standard for an executive physical at President Trump's age and confirms that
It's like he has no filter on anymore. It's like his thought just comes shitted out of his mouth immediately.
he remains in excellent overall health.
Now, his doctor eventually put out a vague statement saying he was looking at Trump's heart and he is in, quote, excellent health. Trump's doctors also say he's the same height and weight as NFL quarterback Patrick Mahomes, so you could make of that what you will. The president's decline is evident in more than just anecdotal observations. New York Times recently published an extensive account of his truncated schedule and shorter work days. And again, even just watching the guy, which unfortunately for all of us here is our job to do every day, it is obvious that his behavior is becoming increasingly aberrant,
Like
strange,
100?
and sleepy.
I think he's 79.
He's posting late into the night at one point about 150 times in one stretch, amplifying a post claiming that Nancy Pelosi's staff had been planning the January 6th insurrection for months. Sure, right. He's lashing out at reporters while seeming to be a kind of spectator to his own presidency.
Why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person?
The government at the time said that CZ had caused significant harm to U.S. national security, essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is.
Explain more about why you pardoned a notorious drug trafficker.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Juan Fernando.
Well, I was told that I was asked by Honduras.
There's a mic drop moment. Okay, are you ready? No idea who the guy is. Now, at some level, Trump's decline, if it's happening, it seems like it is one of those weird positions of, you know, the food is terrible in such small portions. But the reason all this matters so much is twofold. One, it's hard to believe that this is the person who's actually running the country minute to minute, leaving us to wonder who is filling the power vacuum of the napping president, whose agendas are being implemented, right? And two, Trump's entire source of power, this is crucial, the way that he has kept his second term afloat is through this domineering monopoly on his own party, this kind of ruthless discipline he's imposed on his fellow Republicans. And that only works so long as people in the Republican Party.
I wish smart TVs could have Twitch. Yeah. Can't cast.
Don't start to think too hard about how long he can keep it all going.
Okay, I have to use the bathroom. I want to get... So I'm going to put on some lo-fi, and I will be right back. probably could have changed to a sweater. I got a slice of cheese pizza. And I put it on a napkin. I'm not making any. I also brought the ginger ale out. I thought that was a good idea.
Buckle up, buckaroos. It is time to take a very healthy news dump, and we're jumping right in because it really seems like a lot of the major players from the Trump administration are on their way out. Recently, we spoke about how FBI Director Kash Patel is on the chopping block.
Do we really think that's true though? Like, do we think they're gonna get rid of Kash Patel and Pete Hegseth?
For turning the agency.
Patel, maybe. I definitely don't see a whole lot of loyalty to Patel. In like the Trump administration, especially because like everybody's racist, and Vivek Ramaswamy was like out immediately. But I see a bigger, not bigger. I just think they'd get rid of Patel before they got rid of Hegseth, and I don't think they'd get rid of Hegseth.
Into a quote rudderless ship because of his insecurities and lack of experience. Who could have seen this coming? The telltale signs were always there.
I'm shocked, personally.
And that also includes the recent criticism of Kash Patel's use of a government jet to go on dates with his 27-year-old girlfriend.
She's more of a fucking patriot than you will ever be.
27-year-old? Isn't she like a country singer?
That's right. In this lifetime or 10 more lifetimes. Because I'm Kash Patel, and I might act like I'm into Valhalla and Christianity, but I am Hindu, actually.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've also spoken about the fallout from Pete Hegseth's orders to kill them all in regards to suspected drug traffickers in the Caribbean Sea. Orders that seem to amount to a war crime. And we'll get to that story in a second. There are updates. It has quickly developed into one of the
wild politicians. Yeah, I think I was watching the Legal Eagle video, and I think I might watch that after this, about the boat situation. Because it talks about how, like, the lowest person on the rung will actually be the one that pays for the war crimes and not, like, the generals and admirals that issue the war crimes.
The biggest scandals of this administration so far, which is saying a lot. But first, it might also...
We are mega cooked. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I try to see who's trying to step into these power vacuums. And I just think that shouldn't be so doomer about it because things are swinging a certain way. And knock on wood. While things are bad, they're only bad because first they've got to get worse before it gets better. And while authoritarianism here, we still can fight back against it, and we are. We are every day.
Also be time to say bye-bye to one of the most pathetic members of the Goon Squad.
Plus, like, that napping and the, that election down in Tennessee, she was behind him by, like, 9 points. I meant in a way that I don't think GTA games will ever reach the height that GTA 5 reached. Oh, yeah, that's fair.
A man willing to do or say anything in order to please his boss. And a man...
I don't think GTA 6 is going to come out, guys.
...who is so tempted by the very allure of pornography that he and his son monitor each other's usage.
Very normal.
That man, Mike Johnson, has apparently lost the faith of his fellow members of Congress, and some are now speaking out as we enter into a...
Yeah, I was going to say, don't they have, like, a thing... Either, yeah. So, okay. Thank you, Wikipedia. On October 3rd, 2023, the United States House of Representatives voted to remove its Speaker, Kevin McCarthy of California, through a motion to vacate, filed by Representative Gates of Florida, a fellow member of the Republican Party. McCarthy's removal marked the first time in American history the Speaker of House was removed through a motion to vacate. Vacancy started a process to elect the Speaker. Motion to vacate. Motion to vacate, or a motion to declare the chair vacant, commonly shortened to vacate, is a procedural in which a member of the legislative body proposes that the presiding officer vacates their office. So it's just vacate by Kevin McCarthy after McCarthy negotiated with Democrats to pass the spending bill. The bill was opposed by several Republican representatives. It did not include forms. Resolution to vacate considered House by the House on October 3rd. Tim led House committee moved to table kill the resolution, but his motion was rejected. House thus proceeded to consider the resolution. Following a 1-hour debate, divided between it passed by a 16 to 210. And it was the first time the congressional hit. Okay, so basically one person can bring it to the. And it looks like Marjorie Taylor Greene tried to remove Mike Johnson.
A pivotal election year.
Republicans in the House
fighting with each other,
not liking their leader
Oh, yeah.
in the House. What? No.
Somewhere.
No.
That's how Johnson got his seat.
Kevin McCarthy's getting a real
That's how he got Speaker of the House.
kick out of this.
Popping popcorn.
Miss me up.
Kevin McCarthy, John Boehner, Paul Ryan. It is just the most thankless fucking job on earth. It did seem for a long time like Mike Johnson's just the type of freak to really kind of get off on how much the job sucks.
The problem is nobody is freaky enough to ride down the Trump train the entire way.
Yeah, it's untenable. So there have been verified Mike Johnson haters on the Hill for as long as Mike Johnson has been on the Hill. But he's made more than a few enemies this year. Obviously, there's Marjorie Taylor Greene, whose criticism of Johnson has intensified in recent months as he attempted to stall progress on the release of those Epstein files. She's on her way out, though.
Yeah.
But then there's also numerous Republican officials who were critical of him for his role in the government shutdown, the longest in history. Another Republican from Florida recently sidestepped Johnson by filing a petition that would force a vote on stock trading ban without needing his approval. Apparently he was stalling the hell out of that one. Weird.
Apparently there have been more petitions that sidestep his authority in just the past couple of months than there had been in the prior 3 years or so.
Yeah, it's interesting because like the few good things Republicans want to do, he won't let them do it. And then the truly evil things they want to do, he also can't let them do it because like we can't let the mask and the veil slip too much.
Instead,
because we do have an election coming up.
You get nothing and less health care.
Yeah, obviously less health care.
You always have an election coming.
And
There's
yeah,
an
just
election
this week.
like every 2 years. There's always, I guess, November next year is a little bit closer than like January of this year. But
New York Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, a Trump ally and member of Johnson's leadership team, publicly blasted the speaker and accused him of being an ineffective leader and a liar who is working on behalf of the deep state.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
The social media posts from Stefanik are a rambling mess, begging for a character limit. Please, please.
Bring back 180 or 240.
Please limit these characters. We have too many characters.
That's right.
So we're not going to read all this slop, but here's a bit of what this Republican congresswoman and New York State gubernatorial candidate had to say about House Speaker Johnson.
Republicans have the House, Senate, and the White House. Yet the deep state is alive and well, with the speaker getting rolled by House Dems attempting to block my provision to require congressional disclosure when the FBI opens.
I kind of feel like playing Fallout 4 survival mode. It's been a while. Oh, buddy. Have you updated it Have you updated it since the update came out? Because my suggestion is going to be don't. It's been, didn't you see the post I put on over in gaming with Mr. Matty Plays, I think it is, who has been super pissed off about the update, how they've completely broken the game. Yeah, well, I updated, or my stepson wanted to play Fallout 4. It took like forever to update. But like it's not going to be good once it opens because of the Creation Club.
Counterintelligence investigations into presidential and federal candidates seeking
and the mods are all ruined.
Office. We wouldn't want the FBI looking into the backgrounds of anyone running to hold power in the country, would we?
No, that's none of their goddamn business, I tell you what.
She later provided an update saying, I just walked out of a briefing on this issue this morning, confirming everything I posted yesterday. That yes, in fact, the speaker is blocking my provision to root out the illegal weaponization that led to Crossfire Hurricane, Arctic Frost, and more. Those sound like Baja Blast, Mountain Dew flavors.
Sound like delicious drink.
Yeah, Thesda just stopped paid mods. Yep. All they care about is money.
That's the new lineup at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And also, apparently, some things that happened behind the scenes here.
Faded off those Crossfire Hurricanes.
He is siding with Jamie Raskin against Trump Republicans to block this provision to protect the deep state.
I love it. Like, that's the only thing they can turn to right now to blame the fact that they control everything and still
it must be this
still can't get what they
secret
want.
Deep state.
Because what they want is not like a coherent thing.
No.
So it's just like, well, the reason we're not living in that picture of utopia, the futuristic utopia.
Mike Johnson standing in the way.
It's the deep state, guys. Folks,
Yeah.
It's the deep state. You don't even know how deep this deep state goes.
That's right. Now, Johnson responded to this like he does to every question every day. He said he has no idea what anyone's talking about. I have no idea what is going on. Why is anyone even asking me questions?
I wake up in the morning. I stare at the wall for 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm going to be fighting Answer now. Get Baldarian's Giant Slayer. Who's Answer?
Eat my cornflakes.
Cornflakes.
Cornflakes with no sugar.
Any amount of sugar might lead me to masturbate.
And then I get in the car and I completely black out for the whatever amount of time it takes to get to the Capitol. I don't know, because I'm unconscious.
Is that in Baldur's Gate? I haven't gotten that far. In the city? I haven't gotten that far.
During that time,
Yeah.
I get out of the car and I zone out.
I should try to.
Out again, and somehow I'm inside the Capitol.
Before you know it, I'm home.
And all these people are asking me questions about things I'm hearing about for the first time.
Things that would potentially get me into a lot of trouble if I did know about them.
Listen, here's the thing about thinking. You start thinking about all this stuff you people are asking about, and
Worms Crossing. I haven't. Yep, still haven't gotten there. God, cold in here. I should have brought a sweater out so I could work on my Troggs. See, because like this, the countertop is freezing right now.
then you're thinking about pornography.
Exactly.
And I can't do that.
It's a slippery slope.
My son will catch me looking at pornography, and I'll be mortified by that, and kind of turned on, but mostly mortified.
Yeah.
So that's why this head of mine, this Mike Johnson head of mine, is just empty, devoid of thoughts, tabula rasa.
Very convenient for me and everyone else.
It is, and that's why I'm such a good leader. I don't exactly know why Elise just won't call me, he said, recalling that he told his colleague over text, "What are you talking about? This hasn't even made it to my level." Stefanik followed these statements up in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, where she said, Johnson is an ineffective leader who is losing
Someone needs to issue the order of vacate or what motion to vacate.
in control of the Republican Party. He certainly wouldn't have the votes to be Speaker if there was a roll call vote tomorrow, said Stefanik, a close ally to President Donald Trump. I believe that the majority of Republicans would vote for new leader. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Surprising.
What? Holy, this
I'm
never happened
surprised.
before. I believe the majority of Republicans would vote for new leadership. It's that widespread.
There's always just some little problem that's in the way, and
Yeah.
they've got to get rid of it. And
Well-
once they're done voting that out of the way, then it's on to the next thing. And then it's the immigrants again.
These are perpetually unhappy people.
Well, yeah.
The one solace you can take in the hell we currently live in is that none of the people inflicting this hell upon us are enjoying a single fucking second of it. They're as miserable as everyone else.
They're enjoying the pain that they're inflicting on others, but they're miserable at their own lives. And this is the little bit of joy that they get, the little tiny bit of power and everything else.
But yeah, both Johnson and Kash Patel are breathing slightly easier this week because one man in particular has shot straight to the top of the shit list, and that man is Pete Kegsbreath because he's alcoholic.
That's true.
The one.
Every day that passes brings new excuses, new admissions, new finger pointing, and gruesome, awful details about the alleged war crimes that almost certainly seem to have been committed by, shockingly, the guy who calls himself the Secretary of War.
No, I don't think so. He let that admiral or whatever. Hey, do whatever you want. Don't tell me about it.
Yeah,
now
right?
I'll let you.
The legal video explains, but
CNN has learned that Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley, who oversaw the operation, told lawmakers today on the Hill that the two survivors did not, as some defense officials have been claiming for months behind the scenes, radio for backup before a second strike killed them. That's according to two sources with direct knowledge of today's closed-door briefings, during which a select group of senators and Congress members were shown classified video of the strikes. Democratic Congressman Jim Himes, who saw the footage, called it, quote, one of the most troubling things I've seen. A short time later, he elaborated on that with CNN's Jake Tapper.
answer reminds me of Lego Ninjago. You like that a lot. Like one of your.
The video was enormously disturbing, and I can't describe it in detail, but to tell you that the initial strike, as you might imagine, when a piece of munitions falls on a small boat, did an immense amount of damage, caused a huge amount of fire, and ultimately the end result was two individuals without any weaponry, without any tools of any kind, clinging to a wrecked boat, really what looked like flotsam. You know, and we observed them for a long time, and the commanders involved said that they believed that there might be some chance they would be rescued, that there might be some chance that the cocaine on board could be recovered. But these two individuals, to anyone looking at this thing, would say are moments away from slipping under the waves. The decision was taken to kill them, and that is in fact what happened. And that was pretty hard to watch, I must say.
Well, not everyone who saw the video shares that view. Arkansas Republican Senator Tom Cotton, for one.
The first strike, the second strike, and the third and the fourth strike on September 2nd were entirely lawful and needful, and they were exactly what we would expect our military commanders to do. I saw two survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs bound for the United States back over so they could stay in the fight. I didn't see anything disturbing about it. What's disturbing to me is that millions of Americans have died from drugs being run to America by these cartels.
Again, Admiral Bradley said that, at least when it came to radioing for help or backup, the survivors did not do that. And according to our sources, said they did not appear to have radio or other communications devices. Now, you'll remember defense officials have been quietly pushing back on criticism that this was a war crime by arguing in part that they were legitimate targets because they appeared to be radioing for help or backup. Now, today, Admiral Bradley said the two survivors were in no position to make a distress call. Now, if true, it marks yet another shift in a story that has changed considerably since it first broke in the Washington Post earlier this week.
If there were a second strike that killed wounded people wounded in the first strike, are you thinking
number one,
that
I
would be
don't.
legal?
Yeah. Number one, I don't know that happened. And Pete said he did not want them. He didn't even know what people were talking about. So we'll look into it. But no, I wouldn't have wanted that. Not a second strike. The first strike was very lethal. It was fine, and if there were two people around. But Pete said that didn't happen.
Does that make you?
I have great confidence.
He's saying there's no second strike.
I don't know. I'm going to find out about it. But Pete said he did not order the death of those two men.
Now, quoting from the initial Washington Post story, quote, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a spoken directive, according to two people with direct knowledge of the operation. The order was to kill everybody, one of them said, which Secretary Hegseth denies, in which the president, as you heard there, said neither he nor Hegseth knew anything about. The next day, the story changed somewhat, with the White House, along with Secretary Hegseth, putting the focus squarely on Admiral Bradley.
On September 2nd, Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America was eliminated.
To clarify, Admiral Bradley was the one who gave that order for a second strike.
And he was well within his authority to do so.
Now, that same admiral seems to have given lawmakers and now us another window into what actually happened. I want to bring in Congressman Jake Auchincloss. Congressman, what is this new information that Admiral Bradley reportedly says that the survivors of the initial strike did not appear to have radio or other communications devices and were in no position to make a call, a distress call? Does it change the government's argument that the secondary strike was legal and justified? Does it, in your opinion, should it?
Anderson, good evening. Doesn't change my interpretation of the events. It makes them more horrific, but I've long stated that these are illegal. I commanded a joint training mission to Central America to do drug interdiction operations. I work with Panamanians, I work with Colombians, I commanded reconnaissance, Marines, and naval officers. I know what drug interdiction looks like. It's riverine training, it's jungle training. It is not killing shipwrecked sailors. This is not an operation that falls under the law of armed conflict. This is an operation that falls under law enforcement maneuvers, and neither the first nor the second strike, in my interpretation, are legal, and they are not going to keep Americans safe from drug inflow.
I talked to Senator Tammy Duckworth a short time ago, and one of the things she was saying is that, look, this is not, in her opinion, this.
Chiron down here says sources: Admiral and others discussed for 41 minutes what to do as they watched survivors struggle to overturn the damaged boat. I wonder if I could use Turn Undead on try it.
It's not about necessarily the, these two men and narco traffickers, but what if in the future, if the U.S. is doing this, an American pilot is shot down, is, floating in a dinghy and able to radio for help, would some force kill him and say, well, look, the U.S. is doing this, we can do this too? Would it change somehow the rules of war if this is not illegal?
Has a 9% chance it's possible. That's not zero.
That the United States respecting international standards and humanity
Meanwhile, a Pentagon inspector
I'm going to save Scummik a call.
General's report found that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth violated department policy and put troops at risk by using his personal cell phone to share sensitive military information in a group chat.
And this comes as the U.S. military struck another alleged drug smuggling boat in the Pacific Ocean, killing 4 so-called narco-terrorists. Once again, no evidence supporting the accusations about the boat or its passengers were provided by the administration. Also yesterday, a group of congressional leaders heard from Admiral Frank M. Bradley, the commander who oversaw that highly scrutinized September 2nd attack. Those lawmakers also viewed unedited footage of that strike for the first time. Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Tom Cotton said, quote, he didn't see anything disturbing in that video.
I saw 2 survivors trying to flip a boat loaded with drugs down for the United States, back over, so they could stay in the fight. And potentially, given all the context we heard, of other narco-terrorist boats in the area coming to their aid.
Only in America could a video reminding the military not to commit crimes lead to the president demanding execution.
Oh, the one I. Oh, we never finished. Let me know if it works. You know how many times you have to reset.
President Trump.
We always have to watch Harry Enton, the holy guy.
Once again downplaying the issue of affordability, repeating his line that it's a, as he puts it, a con job by the Democrats. But a growing number of Trump allies are now urging
He ran on affordability. What are we talking about?
the Republican Party to sharpen its message on the cost of living heading into the midterm. CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton joining me now. Look, ultimately, it's the American public who is going to decide if this is a major issue. What are you learning from some of the numbers you've been looking at as to how people really feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, look, you can bloviate as much as you want in Washington, D.C., but at the end of the day, it's the American people who make the ultimate decision at the ballot box like they did last month in Virginia, in New Jersey. And this is what it's all about, baby. Google searches for affordability up 110% versus a year ago. More folks search for affordability in the last month than at any point since the Great Recession, all the way back in 2009. This is no con job. This is the American people going online, searching for affordability. It's the American people going to the ballot box, voting on affordability. They think it is an important issue to touch on. Donald Trump might want to make the argument it's a con job, but the American people don't think so.
When it comes to things like high prices, I mean, what is the top issue that Americans say they are facing, bar none?
Yeah, you named it. You named it. I mean,
Ta-da!
It's the cost of living, most important to you right now, 36%. What's right behind it? The economy, 20%. And then I combined here healthcare or Medicare and Social Security right down there, number 3, 17%. What do these all have in common? It's do, re, mi. It's all about the economy, spending, cost of living, entitlements, all about being able to afford things. That's what we're talking about, Sarah Seidner. This is the name of the game. It was the name of the game last month, and it is very likely to be the name of the game come 11 months from now in the election. And it's not the Democrats making up, it's the American people that the Democrats are following. And if Donald Trump and the Republicans don't start following the American people, well, you get results like you did last month in Virginia and New Jersey, and that is Republicans losing by double digits in races that they thought would be considerably closer, especially in New Jersey.
Look, it was the name of the game in the presidential election.
Yeah,
right?
Sarah.
I mean, I had to bring that up.
Beautiful.
That is part of this. So when you look at this, what is sort of, there are lots of things. People back then, it was eggs, it was groceries, and people were really frustrated, but there is so much more to what the cost of living is and how it affects us.
That's exactly right. You know, we think of cost of living, we think of groceries, but it's also about housing, affordable housing. We saw that last month in the New York City mayoral election, and it was something that we saw in the 2000s.
Yeah, Turn Undead wasn't worth the use. Oh, it was worth the fun. Boo.
2024 presidential election as well. Good affordable housing, satisfied with access to it. You know, you look back a decade ago, it was 69%. 59%. We're going down the slide here in 2019. Look at where we were last year when Donald Trump won another term, all the way down to 36%. That's a 33-point drop in just a decade of time. Affordable housing is such a key component to this. It is such a key component.
Yeah,
and Donald Trump won on affordability.
So I just hit it really hard. Yeah, I think it's super dumb to like not focus on affordability and to call it a con job when everybody's feeling it. Because they're just saying it like now. Like, I'm sorry, if he thinks affordability is a con job, why is he trying to get like drug companies to be affordable? You know?
Even if he didn't use that word, he won on affordability. He won on the cost of living in 2024, and he has completely lost the plot. And it's not just about groceries. It is also about people putting a roof over their heads, and that is going to be a big issue in my mind going in to 2026, because it was a big issue in Tennessee 7 as well. It's going to be a very big issue. When all of a sudden you see falls like this from 69 to 36, that is a siren. That is a flashing red siren. The politicians don't follow it, they're going to be in big trouble with the American people.
It's a big deal, partly, too, because this is the biggest bill that most people have, either their rent or their mortgage. That is the highest thing that they pay, never mind the groceries and everything else. Harry Enton, it is a pleasure to see you this morning. Thank you for bringing us that.
Democrats won big in the November.
I don't think he ever cared about affordability. No. And most of the things that they're setting up are like through Trump-specific accounts. Like, it's clearly a con job.
November elections by running on the cost of living affordability. President Trump over the last month or so has argued that the focus on affordability is a scam and a con job. CNN's Matt Egan is with me now. That's kind of different than what he said during the presidential campaign, Matt.
Yeah, John, it's really hard to make sense of this argument that the affordability crisis is a con job on a few different levels, right? First off, this is arguably the issue that helped propel President Trump back to the White House just a year ago. And not only that, but candidate Trump.
I mean, that's what, like, literally, I think he said, like, I ran and won on affordability.
He used remarkably similar language to what now President Trump is calling a hoax. Take a listen to what candidate Trump said on the campaign trail last year.
Starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again. To bring down the prices of all goods. Starting the day I take the oath of office, I will rapidly drive prices down and we will make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again. We will end inflation and make America affordable again.
Make America affordable again. That was even in the 2024 Republican Party platform. And look, this message, it seemed to work. It really seemed to resonate with voters. When you look at the 2024 exit polls, among voters who said that inflation caused their families severe hardship.
Yeah, I feel like we took polls after the election, after Trump won, that were like, why did you vote for Trump? And it was like affordability, like the number one. Like the economy. Like, I feel like those polls are out there.
Vice President Harris, former Vice President Harris, only won 23% of the voters. The vast majority went to Donald Trump. And look, one of the problems here is, believe it or not, inflation is actually higher as of September, the most recent month we have data for, than it was a year ago, which is the left side of the screen, when, again, candidate Trump was promising to make America affordable again. It's not the runaway inflation that some feared, but what's notable is that tariffs, the president's tariffs, are part of the reason why we've seen this uptick in inflation. And look, Donald Trump promised to make prices go down, and that was just never realistic, right? It's just not really the way that prices work. You don't usually see that across the entire economy unless something's really, really wrong. Look, I think the bottom line here, John, is if the president's trying to
Well, the rest of my gear for the build is in Raphael's house. Get him.
convince voters that the affordability crisis that they're experiencing every single day isn't real, that's going to be an almost impossible task, especially because candidate Trump told them it is real.
Yeah, look, neither prices nor the rate of inflation are down at this point. Matt Egan, great to see you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you very much.
Salutations, everybody.
Break
It is
and
Matt.
enter a demon at home, and I am taking his flat screen. Do it. Do it.
Here today. Hope you're all doing absolutely excellent. And I think I know who's not doing absolutely excellent today. Unfortunately, it's the IT people at Bethesda Game Studios. I think they have had a pretty rough past 24 hours, to put it lightly. Today, we're talking about, unfortunately, another rocky Bethesda Game Studios launch. And no, it's not Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition this time, though. That second patch is inbound this month, and I'll get back to you on that one. What we're talking about today is Fallout 76, which is attempting to launch its massive Burning Springs update. For those not caught up, this was an update that I previewed back in September because Bethesda was calling it their biggest update ever for the game, which I found to be a pretty bold statement because Wastelanders currently holds the crown for biggest update to the game. It completely overhauled the entire base game map, brought Wastelander NPCs into that map, kind of rethought the story, like rethought all these locations. It made it a much more palatable game for fans such as myself who wanted a more single-player style Fallout experience. From that point onward, Bethesda would focus on everything from a battle royale to raids and kind of lose me with the game, but they'd bring me back with updates like Steel Dawn or Skyline Valley. You know, expansions that focused on stories, or in the case of Skyline Valley, expanding the map. That's what Burning Springs is aiming to do, kind of taking this Fallout New Vegas inspired location, except this time it's Ohio. Not a big difference, by the way. Sorry, Ohioans. I had to get that one in. But yeah, they're trying to bring this Fallout New Vegas inspired location alongside Walton Goggins as the ghoul into this big update, plus a story mode, and time it out with the second season of the Fallout TV show to pretty much surge a ton of players back into this.
Going to do a wizard build next with necromancy and summoning. Ooh.
Game. And when I went out and previewed this, I came home with some mostly positive impressions. The overall location was really cool. I'm excited to get into a new main storyline, see how that goes, and just explore new locations in the Fallout world. Sure, that sounds great to me. But I also wasn't a big fan of how like the story mode progressed through the game's challenge system. It felt immediately padded. I also just found Bethesda kind of overhyped it already by calling it the biggest update ever. And when they said to us in that preview of
Going to be a human wizard. Oh.
that, yeah, the main story is like 6 to 10 hours. I went, that's immediately not your biggest
Okay, but who are you going to romance?
update ever. Especially because when we look at the patch notes for 76's Burning Springs update, it's not like I see a bunch of things here that like, oh, a new event, some bounty hunting. Like it's mostly repeatable content, but not like progressive types content. Anyway, there was anticipation for this update. I do plan to review it when I can play more of it. I'll get into my small bit of experience with it thus far. But yeah, it's been really messy. And I wanted to talk about this today because for the first time in a long while, I'm actually seeing Fallout 76 fans pissed off. And I think that says a lot. This is a very, we're talking about Fallout 76. This is a very, very, very patient community, but also one that has earned the reputation as one of the nicest online communities you can be part of. And I can attest to that. They're really nice to me, even though I have critiqued some of their favorite games.
I love community of Fallout 76 so much. They're so nice, and because everybody there already is nice, it makes like other people want to be nice. I like the community there a lot. What I don't like is when people get right to an event and start it before anyone else can get there. That's annoying. Cormac Carlock, obviously, as a wizard, someone literally gave me something I have been looking for a whole month. Yeah.
Very often. So what's going on? Let's start breaking it down. If you're new here, you're into what's going on with Bethesda. It's been a lot lately. Consider subscribing, and definitely more to come later this month. All right, so starting off, let's go to Bethesda support because you need to sort of see the timeline of this all, right? So Bethesda announces on November 28th, hey, on Tuesday, December 2nd, Fallout 76 is being brought offline to apply the Burning Springs update. So they're putting out that signal flare there, letting their players know, hey, servers are going to be offline there.
They do that with like every 76 patch. Anytime the servers are going to go offline, they always announce to everyone.
Okay, so they take them offline. Now, when this has happened in the past with any update, you can go check out the channel. I've reviewed every major update that's come to Fallout 76 on this channel. Usually it's just you kind of blink and it's there. Like you just sign in and it's there. It's never been much of an issue. Well, Bethesda first posts later that day, the team is aware of login issues for Fallout 76. Thank you for your patience as we investigate. Okay, like the whole community is exercising patience at this point. Like, all right, do your thing. See what's going on here. It's a big update, right? Take your time. Well, they were offline basically all day. So as you can see, again, in the timeline here, that was 3:34 on December 2nd. Now we move to 7:28 on December 2nd. It says Fallout 76 servers are currently offline so the team can continue their investigation into the login issues that have been reported. So they had to flip the switch on this. Now, to the great hope of many people, okay, maybe they'll fix it later in the night. West Coast fans will mostly benefit from this. You know, the East Coast fans and those overseas, unfortunately, will have to sleep it off, right? So Bethesda posts at 9:12 p.m. at night. The 76 servers are online, and we're seeing positive signs that the login issue is resolved. Thank you once again for your patience. Well, that is when I tried to sign in, and I got 22 minutes in, and it was a pretty disastrous 22 minutes, to be very honest with you all. Like, the enemy AI was completely broken again. This is something I talked about with the first Expedition update when I literally crashed out on Fallout 76. I was like, what the hell's going on with you guys over there? But then it just kicked me from the server. And that was after earlier that day, like many others, trying to sign in and learning the servers were offline. Because yesterday's video, I mean, I'm happy with what we got out talking about like AI. I thought that was a really good conversation. But yesterday's video was really supposed to be just playing the 76 update and delivering some impressions. It was supposed to be just nice, simple, easy day at the office. But unfortunately, that was my experience thus far, was me just getting booted from the server. Now, much later into the night, I was able to get in and play a little bit more. I'll share some more thoughts when I actually like have most of the story done, because yeah, those challenges are actual blockers and it really bums me out. We'll talk about what the community's thinking in a moment here. But then it's the following day, right? You want to sleep this one off. All right, we'll play tomorrow. It seems like a lot of the 76 community is just already saying wait till the weekend. But Bethesda posts today at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time that the 76 PC servers will be undergoing maintenance and to stay tuned for updates throughout the day. And then they provide another update just before I was recording this video saying that they are still investigating the login issues on all platforms. And thank you again for your patience. So as you can see, it has been, they're offline. It's been disastrous, and it's left the 76 community really pissed off, which I want to highlight here because I think it's really rare as someone who interacts with the community a lot and peruses the community a lot through places such as Reddit, that I think it's really rare to see them just teeing off on Bethesda. Because again, before we get into this community kind of reaction, this is like the most tolerant part of the Bethesda community, right? Like, while many of us with Fallout 4 and what's going on with the kind of state of the Fallout games, particularly single player fans, are very pissed off at Bethesda, the 76 community is kind of eating good. Like, the game,
it's like they just want to keep messing things up forever, like all the games. Mess up all the games, piss off all the fans. Like, maybe they're trying to make us so angry because they're going to release New Vegas and they just want everybody angry and ready to go. That's what's up.
Games in good shape. People like the whole loot grind and end game grind. Like, I mean, it's not something I can get down with, but I'm not going to shame them for enjoying it, right? So they've been having fun. They don't have as many issues with where Bethesda is right now as many of us do. So when I start to see posts like this, such as, Bethesda, I love you and I love your games, but this is simply inexcusable, calling it a shit show and talking about people getting in there, seeing game-breaking bugs, objects exploding in camps, objects straight up missing from the inventory, end camp, new zone landmarks are not unlocking. That's something I personally encountered as well. And bugs on bugs on bugs to the point that I'm forced to quit and wait for something like a patch or for you to just hot fix your crap altogether. And when I went into the comments, I kind of anticipated this level of like, you know, patting Bethesda on the back, like, hey, it's going to be okay, guys, give them patience, the patient gamer approach, if you will. But it really hasn't been that. It's been a lot of like, I'm not surprised at all with where Bethesda's at right now. Some people are even referring to this as the Fallout 76 classic experience, harkening back to the original launch of the game. Another user called this game just an L for Bethesda, half a day being unable to play with servers crashing or not getting in at all, and this shit has been hyped for a while now. New players might have been drawn in by seeing the ghoul and all the hype Bethesda made for today, only to not be able to play and probably pushing away new players. And that's where a lot of the frustration for players comes from right now, is the hype of getting new players in. Again, this is a very welcoming community, so they want new players to come in, because for a lot of us, we're wondering like when that next massive Wastelanders level swing is going to be. And if there's ever a day, Look, I'm not saying I'm advocating for this, but like, will Bethesda ever charge for an expansion if they swing harder with it? Because the 76 base is pretty big, especially when you look at Microsoft wanting some of that green. I can see a world where they one day charge for it, but they want more.
I like Fallout 76, but I only like it because of the like. Sometimes it gets a bit repetitive. Very thankful for the Halloween. Although, like I said, a lot of times people go in and then like start the event before other people could get in there, and that was really. If there's no new players, who am I going to give grenades and stim packs to?
More players in because maybe it means more good things for the game. Even this morning, players are reporting, I can't get logged in this morning. This is seriously some frustrating stuff now. And it's gotten to the point now where people are sharing tips about when the servers come back online. And I thought this one was actually insane. They said to avoid your camp for a couple of days. Don't buy anything from the camp because in case you disconnect, you'll lose your caps and you don't get the item you purchased. And don't start the new content's main quest in case you get disconnected and it soft locks you from continuing it. So their own community is like advocating, don't play this thing even when it's ready. I find that crazy. Now, to Bethesda's credit, Bill Lacoste has been...
I like to sell... I made a second character and I'm going to make... Because... my first character I didn't really structure around chem, so I kind of like sold a lot of my perks that would have been for chem related. And so I wasn't really built to be a ghoul with that main character. So I made a secondary character that I will turn. That's about when I checked out for a little bit. I do want to get back into it. I know hobbies. Fallout 3 deck. I'm gonna see. I don't know if I want to get back. It's like all crap. Oh, probably wait till I hear on it. Oh, sorry. I should have been closer to the mic. I'm sorry. I was saying that, I want to get back into it, and I made a ghoul character, but I had deleted a lot of my... So, my main character, I deleted a lot of the chem cards. Not deleted, but, sold them for perk points. And, so I didn't feel like that character could be ghoul, so I reverted back to a human, but it cost, 1,000 caps to go back to a ghoul. So I just made a new character, and I'm gonna make them a ghoul. I just have to find the will to want to play. And I was gonna play once the update came out, but I think I might have to wait now.
Been updating in their Discord chat, and he, alongside the team, have been working pretty hard. He talks about how the client is fine. This is all back-end stuff. Amazon Web Services, scaling, gateways, et cetera, right? Now, again, to his credit, the reason I say this is he was updating until 1 a.m., right? He was saying, hey, we're still working at it. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. We think we're getting there, but we're not out of the water yet. So I do respect this, right? It's not like they aren't trying, and I do respect that one of their leaders is out there, with the team on the front lines till 1 a.m. So I can respect that for sure. Now, the reports from people who have played, and I'll get into some of my own impressions in a moment here, is some are saying Bethesda did cook with the update. Hey, I like the new environments. I think the content's good. Some are saying, dude, what's the point of the PTS? Because things like the raid boss are legit broken. They say it's a complete free-for-all bloodbath where you don't even get to see the mark because they die in 30 seconds. It sucked on the PTS and it sucks on the live server now. I hope everyone is prepared for hundreds of posts that complain about exactly this. For me, what time I could get in right now, what I can say, and I'll have more full holistic thoughts when I play more of the update, is that I am still so surprised at parts of this game being so broken that folks often ignore. I know we like to champion the comeback story, and I don't think 76 is as bad as it used to be. And as I've tried to fairly critique each of its major updates as they individually launch, there are moments where I think the game has been in a good spot. Wastelanders was one. I think Skyline Valley was awesome. That was one of my first fully positive 76 videos where I went, I have really nothing bad to say here. But then you get into something like this where, again, there was a mentioning of a bug where your locations weren't being registered. I experienced that. Like, you know, in a Bethesda Game Studios game, when you're about to discover a new location on the map and you see like the icon on the map bar getting bigger and bigger, and then you get close to it and eventually
That happened to me a few times. I was like, I'm in the location. Why is it not marking it off in Fallout 76?
like fills in with that image. I would sometimes be like standing right at the heart of where I guess the icon is placed, and it wouldn't really load in. So I found that a little weird, but also again, the damage balancing in this update and the XP payouts are really weird. Like, I finished a quest and got 25 XP, but then I killed a stingwing and got like 185 XP, and I just can't really wrap my head around how exactly it goes quite like that. Some enemies are still ridiculously spongy. The AI in combat is horrendous, man. So these are still active problems in the game. I'll have more thoughts on like the actual content, you know, what exactly Burning Springs is trying to bring to the table, how it feels. Because like one of my big concerns is, how is it paced out? Like, you know, can I just dive in after those challenges are complete and progress the story? That's the main thing I've been left wondering about. But what 76 really did for me with this update being offline is allowed me to go back to Wasteland 3. I just wanted to play some Fallout yesterday, and I thought, you know what the hell am I doing? Like, let me just go play an in Exile game, because they basically made a bunch of Fallout games in Wasteland 2 and 3, because this is the series that gave birth to Fallout anyway. And Wasteland 3 is so good, dude. That game is hilarious. I killed Santa Claus and a gang of clowns in like the last hour of that gameplay. I went, this is like, do I really want to play this update? Of course, I want to give you all my impressions. I think that's important. But, you know, I was like, damn, man, this game is awesome. I forgot. I've always championed that game, but sometimes you just forget how good it really is. So just a little shout out to that there. And that's co-op. So if you want online Fallout, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what's going on right now with 76. Hoping things get back online later today and that people can check it out and see what this update's all about, because I am curious with how Bethesda's marketed it. And of course, they got like Walton Goggins in. I think that's pretty significant. So is this big swing worth it? Is the wait going to be worth it? Are all these bugs and glitches going to be worth it? Time will tell. I think we all probably can guess the conclusion to this story, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's keep an open mind here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts down below. Other than that, I'll catch you in the next one. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.
Oh, we got an update. Hold on. This one's from a day ago. This one's from...
Ladies and gentlemen, I did it.
Hey,
I
I have
survived.
that hoodie. This is from 20 hours ago. This is Mr. Matty Plays, by the way.
The great server crisis of 2025. Managed to get online in Fallout 76, play Burning Springs, complete all the content that was there, and now I'm sitting down to deliver some thoughts. And you may think to yourself after hearing all that, well, that was pretty quick, because like the servers kind of just started to get online in a proper way like last night, Maddie. And that's pretty much the whole point of this review, as I'll get into.
Oh, no.
Now, to be clear, ladies and gentlemen, this update in Burning Springs was touted by Bethesda as the biggest update yet. These are not the words of YouTubers who have hyped it up. This is not the words of the community who is hoping it'll be that. You can check the headlines, you can check the Bethesda Net article, you can check the comments in the interview. This was called their biggest update ever. And that's saying something, because Wastelanders does exist. Back in 2020, Bethesda overhauled the base game map of Fallout 76. They added like a 15-hour story. All of this was in there for free, plus some endgame content. Like, it was a complete rethinking of Fallout.
Okay, so with these sanded to a level that I'm happy with, I'll probably clean them up a little bit more, just with my fingers to kind of smooth things out a little. Get some of the extra remaining dust on it, but for the most part, these are ready, in my opinion, to be primed. But since it's like snowing outside, or at least it was last time I was outside, probably not gonna prime them today, because you don't want to prime waste out. So I'll probably end up priming these off stream. Next time you see them, I should be beginning to. Now, I haven't figured out what color scheme I'm gonna use yet, but I will figure that out for sure.
76. It was ambitious and it was awesome. It totally helped the game start to recover when it dropped on Steam that same week. So when I hear this is your biggest update ever, I'm like, quest content aside, like, that's going to be a lot. Okay, let's see what we got here. So Burning Springs expands the base game map similar to Skyline Valley, where you now have a new location that you can explore. It goes to the west, and you're going to Ohio. And it boasts Walton Goggins as the ghoul, and he gives you the ability to bounty hunt as a repeatable objective that you can do in the open world. There are also some fresh new locations to explore in this new biome. They added some updates to the Gleaming Depths, which is a raid.
They're going to turn this into the Preston Garvey of Fallout 76. Another bounty needs your help.
Location for those who are unaware. There's a new camp pet in the Radhog, some new fish that you can get, some legendary mods that you can apply to your
new fish
equipment, and a new quest line to boot. So there's stuff here for sure, but I'll be blunt, calling this the biggest update ever was a mistake, and that's because it was flat out untrue. And I'm sorry if that sounds harsh, but sadly this is the case. And the problem is that I did gauge my expectations, I think, very fairly in Bethesda's favor, because I had the privilege to go to a Fallout 76 Burning Springs preview event. We had the opportunity to talk to heads of Bethesda like John Rush and Bill Lacoste and get some more information on what exactly this update would bring. And when people were asking about like how big this update would be, like how long is the quest line, we were told 6 to 10 hours. When I heard that combined with biggest update ever, I gave them some leeway, thinking, okay, this might be for like the end game grinders. There might be like a lot of content here for them, but maybe not for people like me who enjoy just the questing and the looting and the exploration, you know, the more traditional Fallout experience. But I think even with those gauged expectations and taking away any kind of critiques I have on a quality level, this woefully undershot my expectations on multiple levels. Like, I thought this would be pretty good. I don't think it was, but also I thought this would be at least more than Skyline Valley, and it didn't really feel that way to me personally. But I know for the repeatable content here, it's technically bigger. We'll start to break all of that down. Anyway, what did I do here? Well, I finished the main quest for this new update, the DLC's only side quest as well. That took me 4 hours. I'm about to pull an Angry Joe here. 4 hours.
Yeah.
I also saw the new events they added. I did a bunch of bounty hunting in that time. And again, I'm fully aware that some of the content in this update, such as the bounty hunts or the gearing up events, are repeatable, which is part of the grind for Fallout 76. But I think even with this in mind, it feels a little barren to me. And to be clear, before I really dive into things, I'm not belaboring this point for any other reason than it just comes nowhere close to what constitutes to me as an extremely massive update. And even ignoring that element,
it reminds me of Nuka World,
which some people may be saying about this point, well, you're just hung up on that. I think this update is problematic on multiple levels. The stories that are here are flat in both their setup, delivery, and style of communicating that story, as I'll get into. It's very launch 76 status, but also the implementation of some of that repeatable endgame content is confusing at best. I think the unfortunate critique I have above all else is that a lot of this did remind me of Fallout 76 when it first came out. Like, more than half of the locations are basically dedicated to a single side quest in this update, which dumps its entire story into your lap via holotapes, which are given to you from an NPC that you can talk to. So it just feels like a reminder of the bad times, while at the same time I could have just had a conversation with another human being in this world, but I guess that would have been asking for too much. But worst of all, at least in my experience, and I was playing the PS4 version on my PS5, so it may be different for those of you on PC, where it seems to be a better time for 76, to be fair, but there were bugs. Fortunately, these were not launch state bad, to be clear, but for me at least, when I think of all the updates I've covered for 76, the bugs were probably the worst I've seen them since the Expeditions first came to the game a few years ago with the Pit. But my friends, I'm not even talking server crashes, which I experienced.
What are you doing Saturday night? Or no, Saturday. Oh, I don't know. I was gonna stream the Streamer Awards on Saturday, but I want to finish Fallout show. But tonight's movie night with the boys, so I can't do it tonight, and I can't do it tomorrow night. But I want to finish the TV show. So I guess let me think on that.
A few of, I'm talking T-poses for NPCs. I'm talking broken AI in combat. I'm talking quests failing on me.
So
those
right,
sorts of issues that are in your face constantly and hurt your experience. That's what I'm talking about. And this is how we get to the conclusion I've come to be very clear. It's not just, oh, I want a big...
Maybe Sunday night after stream.
content, big story, and I didn't get that. It's like, it's here. It's not very good. I think it's undercooked in a lot of ways. And I think worst of all, it reintroduces a lot of really bad bugs to the game. And so let's start breaking it down more on a quality level now that you have a more holistic idea of everything I'm looking at here. So I want to start off with the story stuff because, I mean, let's be frank, you're going to get a bunch of other Fallout 76 player impressions from like the end game grinders, level 4000s out there and whatnot. That's not who I am. My highest account right now is like a level 100, and I enjoy jumping in, playing the stories, and kind of hopping out. I'm your fair weather Fallout 76 player that I think represents the more single player demographic of that community, and I think there's still value in that. So looking at the main story here, you get a distress signal on your Pip-Boy, as you do with many of these new Fallout updates, or even dating back to like OG Fallout 3 DLC. But anyway, you get a waypoint after listening to this distress signal, and you go and find a Rust Raider camp. You go to save a woman, you get bashed in the back of the head, and you meet the Rust King. The Rust King is the king of the wasteland, and you have to prove your worth to him. So you survive in his arena, and
Generation 1 super mutant, he can talk.
from there, the quest is good to go because now you have to really prove your worth to him, which I found to be not the most interesting hook because it kind of felt like you as the player had to kind of warp your brain around the idea of like, I could just not want to do this. Like, why would my character feel compelled to do this other than live service game with new content? But ignoring all of that, you may remember something that I mentioned from my Fallout 76 preview, which was that I was a little bit worried that this main story would be padded. So after everything I described to you is a quest line that features challenges, which I don't remember ever seeing in any other.
Wait. When does Fallout 1 take place? Like 100 years after the Great War?
Part of 76, but someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But basically what happens in this challenge is now you have to prove yourself to Mr. Big Bad Rust King. So you have to complete the test of might, which I think went by pretty easily. That didn't take me too long to do. And then the test of dominance. And the challenges I had to complete were things like killing a bunch of Rust Raiders. I had to critical hit them in VATS, which as a melee character build, I did not have a good time with that one. I had to complete a premium headhunt, which ran me 5,000 credits. More on that in a little bit. And I had to kill 5 legendary enemies. Now, this took me about like almost 2 hours to get through this part. This was easily the longest stretch of the game for me. In fairness, I do think Season 76 players may have more of an easy time with this and may breeze through it a lot easier than me. I do think, sadly, this reinforces my point, but if that sounds long compared to your average 76 player, it's probably because it is. So now you know these 2 quest lines, and that's important because I did not realize when I went to the preview event and got to this point in the story, which is really where it starts, that I was already halfway done with that story. So after these 2 tests are done, I fired it up, played for another hour, and the story for the zone was done. And it was a little bit of that, let me try to describe it. You know that quiet moment where you're like holding your controller, looking at the TV, the ambient sounds are just kind of drifting by your ears and your brain's just going and you're trying to think things through? That's a moment you kind of go through when you're like, oh, my mind was just blown. Or you go through the moment I did where you're like, that was it. Like, I was staring at my screen waiting for the Vault Boy to pop up being like, new quest begins, because the ending was kind of unfulfilling. It was set up for more. And there was no repeatable end game objective, which at least would have made sense with a certain character at the end of this story. But it's just like, I'll have use for you in the future, Wastelander. I'm like, okay, sounds good. So yeah, it's a 4 quest long story, and that was a shocker to me. I don't care if people are out there like, well, the repeatable content, we'll talk about that in a second here, but for me, I looked at my PS5 play clock and I went from like 151 hours to 155, so it had risen 4 hours after its biggest update yet. I don't find that particularly acceptable with what was marketed to me, and at least if it was great, I probably would care less. It's also just like the form of the delivery. I mean, I get the suspicion that maybe Goggins kind of absorbed the budget. You know, it's an expensive man to get in your game, and I commend them for getting him in there. We'll talk about him in just a little bit as well here. But the main story has voice acting like this.
There's no way. No. Fuck. You're lying. How did he die? Tell me. Now. Raiders! Of course it was Raiders.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sick of them! Sick of them! I'll kill every last
This
one of
feels
those
like
goddamn
Fallout
Raiders.
1.
Especially the one they call King. I want my revenge now.
Mind you, that final line there where he talks about, like, I'll kill that person, especially that king, that just happened to be the character that I was trying to kill. It's like, oh, funny that. Yeah, like, let's, you and me are going to get along fine. It's that sort of, like, corny writing that I see in 76 a lot, and I get it. Like, it's an online game, but, like, it is one of those things where it's not even me putting on my Fallout elitist cap and being like, yo, this isn't Fallout, bro. Like, I'm not even going there with it. I'm just more so thinking about, like, this just is
It's also really dark. Like, really, really dark.
lousy writing. Like, it's just like, why are characters talking like cornballs? Like, it feels like we found this archetype for the Raider in Fallout 3 of like the, yeah, you like the sight of your own blood? And like, that's been the only Raider type we've gotten for over a decade now. It's like there's been no nuance to them at all. And they just sound worse and worse in 76. 76 has never had like incredible voice talent coming in. Most of the main characters they get, I think, do have great talent, but you can tell where they're like squeezing the budget here. And so, yeah, that form of delivery I don't find particularly compelling or exciting. And then you get to the side content here. So there is one new side quest added to this, which sounds crazy when you say it out loud, but it's called a collectible quest. This is a new quest type, and it's effectively a treasure hunt. So you have these briefcases all around these locations in the Burning Springs called Abraxadine Intel cases. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to collect these, and eventually you're going to find out, oh, I can go to Albany and I can deliver these to someone who might be making use of them. So you go to this individual, and it turns out there's a whole story here involving collecting these cases. And I'm like, all right, that doesn't sound the most appetizing. It, again, sounds very base 76 kind of content there.
Yeah.
But all right, let's see what's going on here. So I grab the Intel cases, I turn them in, and the guy just keeps going, okay, I'm handing this over to you now. You listen to it, let me know what you think. And I'm like, what's he talking about, right? This is like a whole NPC driving this quest line looking for his daughter. And I don't converse with this dude at all. He proceeds to hand me 4 holotapes, and they're just dumped in my lap, and you just listen to them back to back to back to back. And it's like really long holotapes where I was there listening to them for like 5 to 8 minutes, if I remember correctly. And I'm like, wow. So they're just going back to this style of storytelling here. The style of storytelling that people revolted against so much that it gave birth to Wastelanders. And it just feels like it defeats the purpose of the storyline. Like, the guy's right there. Why can't we listen to the holotape together? Or maybe I listen to it and then I can talk to him afterwards. Like, something that makes it more interactive. I don't feel like I'm asking for the world here. But anyway, after you do enough of this, which I did, eventually you'll have collected enough intel cases, and he'll give you these coordinates to a cache. So I'm like, okay, maybe this will finally advance the story and we can go from here. Well, I found the cache, and I would hold X to open it, and it would just say it's empty on the top left corner of the screen. So I couldn't progress this quest line. And I read online that server hopping would fix this, because basically what seems to be happening here is this object in the world is being registered as like player individualized. So if anyone in the server dared to open that cache and I go into that server, then I'm cooked until I get into a server that someone hasn't opened this in. Or you can go into your own private server. That's at least what I read from people who are playing on the PTS. But point being is that you can't complete this quest line, and I just found that to be the most infuriating aspect of it all, because I'm like, man, nothing rubs me the wrong way more than not being able to finish my storylines that I put time into. And so then I proceed to start bounty hunting more, because like many of you, I'm a huge fan of Walton Goggins. And so that was like the main draw for me, and I imagine many others right now. And when the show comes out, definitely so. You're going to be like, yeah, I want my GOAT Goggins. If my GOAT Goggins is here and he's awesome and he's active and he's involved, I don't really care about the rest. And I was honestly ready to be there with all of you. I think, just to be clear, Goggins does a great job here. Like, it sounds like the Ghoul. I think the writing for him is pretty solid. Like, yeah, this is the Ghoul. But like, you also just get one good conversation with him, and from there, you settle into these repeatable bounty hunts that don't really progress into much or get any real reactions out of him. They're called grunt hunts, and these will carry you around the map to take out enemies, and that's kind of it, which is to be expected in bounty hunts. Maybe my expectations were high here, but I kind of thought that there would be a quest leading to this aspect of the game. But it does scale on its own here, where as you do more, you get these higher level legendary targets that you're going to hunt down, and then you'll even get like the new legendary mods here. So yes, one of the additions to this is now you have already your legendary weapons. You can modify them, but then you have legendary mods for your legendary weapons. So, I mean, you already know how I feel about where Bethesda Game Studios has gone with the loot. I try not to fight with this part of the game too much because I know it's pretty well established and a lot of the player base likes it. So I'm just kind of shouting into the void in my own little corner here. So this is fine. You know, like I think the only disappointing part is I wanted more Goggins, and given that just everything feels so barren here, I was hoping like, oh, because you gave all the budget to him, but he's just kind of there, gives you your initial quest, and that's sort of it. So then there's another form of a quest that you can do here with Goggins, which is a
I don't think I want to play 76 anymore. Yeah, I'm like, maybe I won't get back into it.
premium headhunt. So you get to pay 5,000 caps to do this. You can also have the chance to loot it off some of your targets that you hunted, so then you can get this poster and like stamp it on the wall, and that's cool and all. But I was looking at the community reception to this element from the PTS, and I agree that I just find the whole paying 5,000 caps to do an event like this weird. I mean, who had the idea of paying to fight things? And what's underwhelming about it is you'll pay for it, and then it'll tell the entire map, hey, this event.
I'll just wait for the New Vegas remaster that will hopefully come out soon. I doubt it.
Events going on. And so what happens is everyone goes and shows up, and the event's over like that. So you paid 5,000 caps and probably didn't even get a chance to fight the thing that was there for the bounty hunt. You get the loot, and that's great and all. And certainly as someone who's been on both ends, I've paid for the headhunt. I've also dipped in on someone else's headhunt, and it's nice to be the person dipping in. And I think that's what this price tag kind of fosters, is like, I'm just gonna wait for someone else to do it. Because after a certain point, I did not see many headhunts going on. You're basically guaranteed 3 legendary drops, and that's on top of like what these enemies are going to drop themselves. So basically what you're doing here is just
Enraged Old Lady, Granny Dolores, those are from Fallout 76. Or I'm sorry, Fallout New Vegas. They're the old people when you take Wild Wasteland perk. Then you go over to the place where you got to get the sex robot, Fisto.
kind of paying for the loot. And I imagine the hardcore 76 players are just going to find other ways to get their legendary loot here. But this is no doubt the element geared most towards the end game players. And I think even ignoring the whole, I'm going to be annoying for a second here, idea of like 5,000 caps per poster really breaks the idea of what bottle caps were and their scarcity in the wasteland. It also just kind of feels like you're punishing your players to grind for caps, to then grind for a chance to get a ton of legendaries. And then when they go through that whole process, like it's not even something they really get to play. So I think the whole implementation, as I said at the top of this video, was a little bit confusing. So that's the bounty hunting experience. I think the grunt hunts are fine enough, but I do think you're kind of left wanting more from Goggins there. And then the sort of big hunts that all the players get in on, just kind of over in a flash and weirdly pricey. And so the last thing I want to wrap up on is just reminding you all that I experienced legacy bugs on top of everything else here. You know, the T-poses were there occasionally. There were moments the map was flickering, the lighting was flickering. There were moments that enemies were spawning right in front of me. And I mean, that's not even acknowledging what events have kind of become now, which are just these enemy spam fests. Like I did the Gearing Up event, and in this event, dude, I was literally spawn camping snallygasters. Like it just, I don't know, man. This is what it is now. This is what it is. It's just explosions and guns firing everywhere. It's the loudest thing of all time. But ignoring that, like there were just locations I'd enter where enemies would spawn on me. And again, that's not accounting for like quest issues, server issues. Like I imagine this is a lot like what happened with Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition.
Like where you clear out an area and then when you turn around, their enemies are back.
And this will be smoothed over for the TV show fans.
They're trying to milk their MMOs like Rockstar with GTA. Yeah, I just don't think they care. I think they want to replace all of their staff with AI and do the cheapest way possible to come out with another game or another DLC or something that they don't have to like care about but can charge the
I think the hardcore who's hung around with this is going to be disappointed on multiple levels. I mean, for me, as someone who was authentically like, I could wrap my brain around maybe one day accepting 76 is the best part of Fallout right now. But when this even missed, I went, man, should I really feel confident that the TV show is going to be great? Like, I'm scared now. I'm like, even every safe bet, like, I've cursed this franchise ever since I went, you know what? I like being comfortably excited. I talked about 76 and Burning Springs, and I talked about season 2, and I was like, it's gonna be great. I've said this before, I just need to shut the hell up. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to share my thoughts on Fallout 76 Burning Springs, my time with it, and let you all know how it went in case you thought about dipping in. For those who are looking for a more holistic
I also
Fallout
still
76,
don't understand how there's a first generation super mutant in across the country where the master is, but the master isn't even like a thing yet in this time in the story. Like how did that happen?
76 breakdown. Don't worry, we'll be doing that when season 2 launches, just like we kind of did last year. I'm going to be checking out some other content.
Unless it's like a Fallout 4 style super mutant. There were like a few intelligent ones of those. But like, I don't know, it just doesn't work. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here for the day. Blue, thank you for being you. I'll be back tomorrow night for the streamer awards. They start at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. At least I think that's when it starts. I'll double check. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.